guys, let's get started on this beautiful koi watercolor. I used these colors listed here and a number 6 round brush and a larger round brush. Right now I'm going to mix my colors. I'm grabbing a turquoise color that I have on my Windsor Newtown palette, and I'm going to grab another darker blue color that's in my palette. I believe it's a Windsor blue, and I'm just trying to mix the color of the pond water that's not too turquoise but a little bit more blue in it. I'm going to test out my color on my scrap paper, and then I'm going to start mixing my black color for my koi. My black on my Windsor Newtown palette is just like a dark black, and it doesn't have any really other colors in it. It's not very rich looking, so I'm just going to add a little bit of purple to my black, and I'm going to add a little bit of that Windsor blue to my black. And what it's going to do is just make that black very vibrant and rich looking instead of a flat dull black. Here I'm just getting out a little puddle of my yellow, and I know I said it was going to be a yellow or an orange yellow, but since my yellow was a little bit dirty in my palette, I'm just going to go with that. To begin our painting, I'm going to start putting down some of this turquoise color all the way around my koi drawing. It is a negative. This is called negative painting, so you're painting around the object instead of inside the object. And I'm also going to get some clear water and just take a bigger brush and just go around the outside of where I just painted, so it's going to bleed into the wash that you're placing on the outside of that color that you're painting around your koi. Continue painting your negative painting around your koi. This is the water we're painting in, and just go very carefully around the fins and all around his body, and add that wash to the outside so it bleeds in. And then we're going to just dab in a little bit more color and some water while it's not going to be completely dry, but it is drying, so you want to work wet on wet here. And every time I see a section drying, I add just a little bit more water so it flows beautifully around my koi. our koi, and my background is still wet, so I'm just going to add some more color here and there and just bring up the color where I want it, just more pigment in there and a little bit more water here and there just to give it a little bit of variation in the background. And also I'm going to take a little bit of salt, just a few little salt particles, and just drop it here and there on this semi-wet background. Once your background is painted and you're happy with it, just let that dry completely before we start our next step of painting inside the koi. So I painted in my yellow near the nose of the koi, and I did the same thing where I put it in and I added a little water to make it bleed. And now I'm adding a little bit of that turquoise on the edge of him to show that he's curving, his body is round. It's just going to give him a little form. So I'm making a line and then I'm going to soften it with water. Now the fun part, let's add all the spots all over this koi. I'm going to grab my bright red and just place it here and there, and it's going to bleed out. And I feel like when it starts to dry, I'm going to add a little bit more because the koi, it is fuzzy edged around those spots, but it's also, some of them have hard edges. So I want a combination of both, I guess. So here I am just adding my red. I'm going to add some black as well. Here I'm taking my turquoise blue and I'm just adding some contour lines inside the fins. And I added some washes too, so you have a combination of like a wash and just here and there lines going in and some contour lines going in. The fish does live underwater, so I wanted to add some more washes after that dried, just to make it look like he is underwater and that, the blue water is on top of him somewhat. But I want to keep some white so he still sparkles. So I'm adding a little bit of blue to my turquoise. I want to make a shadow underneath the koi because he needs to pop out a little bit more. And so I feel like he's in this beautiful little pond. He's close to the bottom and his body is casting a shadow underneath his body. So this is just going to make this koi stand out more and pop off the page. So here I'm adding more shadows to the side of my koi because I feel the sunlight, as you see it here, is coming from the bottom of the painting, and so the top of the painting should be where the shadow is. That's where we placed our bottom shadows. So it just makes him look more three-dimensional, and I'm just going to tidy up my painting at this point. I'm just going to add little touches here and there where I see fit, and I tend to overdo things. Sometimes I don't know when to quit. So take a step back and look at it before you decide to make any new marks on it. And there you go. You have this beautiful little koi painting. So as I'm finishing up this beautiful little koi fish, I'm adding some white gouache on the fins and just putting some highlights here and there to make it pop even more. If you liked this video and want me to create more like it, please subscribe and hit that little notification button. Until then, have a great day.